We're continuing with June 2012, and we're working on the part 2s. Now remember on the part 2s, 3s, 4s, to part 2s, 3s, to show as much work as possible, because you want to be able to pick up as many points as you possibly can in these next two parts. So they're asking you to put this in simplest form. Remember your rules for i's, and you can put these on the side, and you can even put them in your calculator if you can't remember what they are. Anything to the 0 power is 1, to the 1 power, -1, -I. Your rule is you take the exponent and you divide it by 4, and you look for its remainder. So this is I to the 1. Take 18 divided by 4, remainder 2. This is I squared. Take 31 divided by 4, remainder is 3. This is I cubed. Now go to your chart and translate I plus a -1 plus a -I plus n equals 0. Out comes your i's. So -1 plus n is equal to 0, and n is equal to 1. This is a nice little PERT formula. Whenever you're compounding your interest continuously, you're using PERT. Read carefully. A is the amount that you accrue after you collected your interest. P is what you invest. R is your interest rate, and your rate has to be converted to a decimal. And T is your time in years. So using this formula, they want you to plug these pieces in and show all substitutions. The amount after 8 years I need to know. If I put $750 in at an annual rate of 3%, which is 0.03, and I do this for 8 years. Show all substitutions and then use your calculator, then use your calculator and put it in your calculator to get your answer. Remember, this only goes with the E. So put it in exactly like you read it, and you want to remember to watch your rounding. Round to the nearest dollar, $953. Okay, here's a nice little trig one where it looks at your identities. If you remember, cosine and sine are the lowest you can break down. Secant is 1 over cosine. Distribute this, so you get cosine over cosine minus cosine times cosine is cosine squared. This becomes 1. And this is one of your identities that you have to remember. Write this on your formula sheet so you remember to use this one. And if we do 1 minus cosine, that is solving for sine. So this breaks down to be sine squared. Okay, make sure you show all your work for this. Try not to skip your steps. Okay, here's a nice one, and kids lose points because they don't show work for this. They're looking for an exponential regression, which works like your linear regressions. You're going to put this in your L1, put this in your L2. Write this down that you're doing this. And then write that you did exponential regression L1, comma L2. You're also going to pay attention to where you're rounding to. To the thousands is 3 decimals, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Take this and put this in an equation. Make sure you put y equals. They want an equation. And make sure you round to 3 decimals correctly for both of these arguments. And make sure you put your variable in there. Okay? Please make sure you show this work, because without the work, you're only going to receive 1 credit out of 2 for your right answer. Okay? To find the nearest measure of the radian measure, remember that 180 degrees is the same as pi. So we're either using 180 over pi or pi over 180. Now if you're going to the radian from the degrees, you want the pi, you're going to multiply by pi over 180. So 216 times pi over 180. Now, they just asked, they didn't ask to reduce it, they asked to go to the nearest tenth. So just put it in your calculator and round it to the nearest tenths. Sometimes they will ask for it reduced, in which case reduce this fraction and leave it with the pi. But since they asked for the tenths, you can very easily put it in that one.